women, men folk, your kinfolk and your skin folk, wrestling fans, and people who just like to listen to podcasts. You are now tuned in to the Wrestling Podcast live from War Game. It is 808s and Chest Shots. I am your host, Jeff, joined as always by your favorite wrestling faction, the lovely Wakanda Lisa Rice, and Neek. Say what's up to the people.
Hi, everybody.
Nick is giving me a look.
Go home, Roger.
And we have a special guest this week. He's come back to give us even more negativity. He was standing in for me on a couple of episodes back. Thank you, sir, for filling in for me that night. We have James, Negative James here. James, how you doing today,
Wow.
That's crazy, but I'm doing good.
sir? James, you was real negative on that show, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. You brought the vibes. You brought the vibes last time you were here. It was good.
I had to.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, man. All right. So you know what we're here to do. We're here to talk a little bit of wrestling. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. You can follow us on 808s and Chest Shots on the Instagram and the Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter or X if you call it by a slave name at 808s Chest Shots, because there is a is a character limit on Twitter handle names. And you can talk to us on Threads. We on Threads too. We popping out there, having a good time. You know, it's like the Wild Wild West on Threads. People ain't figured it out yet. And we just out here having a good time. So yeah, before we get started, man, how was y'all week?
First of all, how was your birthday, sir?
Hey, you know, I'm officially Unc now. You can call me Unc and I don't get mad about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really cool with being called OG yet. I don't like that. But, you know, I can deal with Unc. You know what I mean? Turning 40, I can deal with Unc. So it was cool. Yeah, man.
All right. What about you? Since we're talking about birthday, James, your birthday.
Yeah.
How was yours?
It was good. It was good. It was decent.
When was your birthday, James?
Yesterday.
The 6th?
Yeah.
You're a good man, brother. You're a good man. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't Negative James no more.
Nah. You know what I'm saying? I'm the 5th. So I missed you. I missed you by a couple of hours, but you know what I mean? per mom, she said I was supposed to be the 6th, and I got tired and came up out of there doing the Olympics. So, you know, it's all good. That's what's up, man. Was it a good birthday, though?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I didn't do too much.
It'll be the best ones, bro. Just celebrating going around the sun and one more time, man. Hey, be with your loved one. No wrong with that. How about you guys, man? How was your week?
It was good.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
You were seeing people getting body slammed live in person this week?
I did. Impact, Total Nonstop Action, TNA. They were here in Tampa last Friday and Saturday doing a taping. 2 back-to-back. It started at 6, ended around 11.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a long ass time.
Yeah, they took time. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was one of the more pleasant shows, like just aura and ambiance wise. I feel like it was one of the more pleasant shows I've been to. Like nobody stunk, at least not near me.
Okay.
Yeah, I had floor seats the first night, and then I did general admission the second night. Nobody stunk. It was very pleasant, and everybody was mostly polite too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually indie shows can be a little tricky sometimes, so that's what's up.
It was awesome. It was at the fairgrounds. I didn't have to wait to get in. There wasn't no long lines. It's a very well put together show. My only complaint, and this isn't even for TNA, it's for the fairgrounds. I really don't like that they zip tied the floor seats together. I'm sorry, but I need some space. Yeah. Like we not get off me, you know.
WWE does the same thing.
Now I say Nick and I went through that at SummerSlam. Shout out the homie who pulled the lighter out and burnt the zip ties off the chair.
Yo, pulled it out. Was like
he burnt the zip ties up so we all had room because it was rough.
Yeah. I had my lighter on me. I didn't think to do that, but
man, he burnt the zip ties and gave all of us and the lady who was like the I guess you could say crowd control or like the
man, fuck her.
Exactly. She was hot. She was hot.
I ain't like her since we bumped. Let's not go back into that. Let's move on. Let's move
Yeah.
forward.
She was
Let's
trying
move
to
forward.
she
Let's
was
go. Let's
trying to
go.
ruin the night. No lie. She was trying to ruin the
Man,
night.
get that
And
boy
we
out
was
of here,
that
bro.
it's tough. Speaking of SummerSlam, let's get started. SummerSlam happened over the weekend. We had our predictions. I think we all did fairly well. This was a very predictable card. Great card though. Great show. Let's get started with the first match on the card, which was the champ Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley with Dirty Dom in her corner to start. In the match. Who wants to go first, man? How y'all feel about this one?
I've never seen a match where a heel gets more heat on top of the heat that he already has. He
Dom
literally has
and
triple the heat now.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Dom Mysterio, bravo, man. Having a good run. It was a good match, but bravo. Good run as a heel. Good run.
Dom getting his Eddie Guerrero on. You know. Shout
Terrible
out
with
to
the
him.
mohawk.
And the stash, the crazy stash.
The
That's
the
insane.
mullet. The mullet.
Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah, the mullet.
Monster mullet.
Jay, what you think?
The match was good, but like I said, Dom's goated now. He's goated
Yeah.
as a heel. He can never go babyface. Don't even try. Don't years down the line. Don't just keep him heel. Now, as far as breaking him up, probably going solo. I don't know, but we'll just keep it there. Keep him heel. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think he could ever turn. Like they already don't. They don't all like we already don't let him talk when he's on the mic.
Yeah.
Wait until he tries now. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, what's
Oh
that gonna?
boy.
He's drawing that heat to, like, we talked about indie shows at the start, where if it's an indie show, they start throwing shit at you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's drawing that type of heat where they got to escort him out the building. Dominique is the legend, bro. He's putting in,
Man.
they couldn't have thought it was going to end up like this. Like, he's a legend. Legend. To me, I'll make this quick. The match was solid. We talked about Dominic. Rhea Ripley, though, she's a natural. Like, her being able to convey that type of emotion, I know we all know it's storytelling, we all, whatever. But to be able to convey that type of emotion in that match, at the end, she genuinely looked hurt. Like genuinely looked like Dom just broke her heart into a million pieces. Man, that was great. Great cinema. What y'all think? To me, Rhea has one of those futures that she's gonna be like what Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks should have been in the movies with WWE if she would have stuck around. Like, Rhea's got a bright future.
I agree, because I know people who don't even watch wrestling, but they know who she is.
Yeah.
Yep. That's star power right there.
Unique look, very unique look. She's comfortable around in front of the mic. Looks good on camera. Speaking of cameraman, you knew what you was doing in the first couple of minutes of that match. That little crawling scene that she was crawling up there. You knew what you were doing, cameraman. That was nasty. We ain't complaining, but that was nasty.
Yeah, like speaking of, I know y'all want to talk about Rhea, but I want to talk about Liv for a little bit. It looked like she's getting better in the ring now. She took on this heel persona.
Yeah,
like mic skills and gotten better, ring work. She's really putting it on now since she's turned heel.
I agree.
I can see that.
You can never have too many. You can have too many faces, but you can never have too many heels, I don't think. And having a heel like her, again, it may be just Dominique being around her, but the reaction she's drawing as well, priceless. So, and I'm with you. She's gotten better in the ring, got better on the mic, believable character. Yeah, this is dope. Now, with the way the match played out, with Dominic costing Rhea the match with the chair, which I thought was great because it made sense, pulling the chair back and saying, don't do that because you're going to lose the match, but then slide into Liv. I thought that was great. That kind of plays into what happened on Monday night. Well, we saw Damian Priest also lose his match lose his title as well. Where does that leave the Judgment Day now? Like with Finn Balor and crew, does it look weaker to you all losing their two main stars, or you think this is actually good for them?
I'm not liking it, and that's
You
only
don't like it?
because I'm not liking it only because Carlito's there. Like, bro, why are you there?
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't fit in.
Nah, he doesn't.
It's like he doesn't fit in at all. JD, yeah, Dom, Liv, yeah, but like then it's like just Carlito's like the sore thumb of the group now.
You being generous
You
with
got the point.
JD. I feel the same about Carlito and JD. I don't get it. That's just me personally. I haven't gotten it since JD been around. It's like, you know, I'm not saying he got a weird case, but why is he around? You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't understood it. But yeah, just Liv, Dominic, and Finn, that works for me. That just makes sense. But yeah, go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just taking it all in. Like you're fine. With the exception of Dominic and Finn, I don't think this current iteration is going to last very long. Cause like, just because the enemy of your enemy is not your friend, you know, like, and they all feel like secondary characters, including, and I'm trying not to be a hater because like I've never really been a Liv Morgan fan. She has gotten better. I could be for real and say that, but I've never. She's I don't see it for her. But they all seem like secondary characters to me. And so, like you said, Carlito feels out of place. JD, if it wasn't for the tag team titles, he would be in catering. Like let's call it what it is. Let's be for real. Like I said, with the exception of Dom, because Dom doesn't really. Do I want to go there right now?
Go.
I was gonna
Say
say he really don't need the Judgment Day.
He does not.
He doesn't.
He does not.
He doesn't, because he could be a monster heel doing anything. Like he's proven over and over and over again. Like he's got it. And then who's left? Finn Balor. He doesn't really need it either. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
No.
So right now it's Liv, JD.
Rhea?
No.
I'm talking about
Rhea,
in the people who are left over. Not
okay.
the Terror Twins, not them. I feel like those two, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I talked about Liv, talked about Dom, talked about.
Those are the only members. You had it right.
That's all of them.
So I covered everybody. So
Yeah, you're right.
Damian and Rhea, like I said, those two have it. Like we were concerned about Damian Priest when he first won the heavyweight title, but with the way his reign went and with the way this storyline is going, that Gunther feud, even though he lost on Saturday, that has put him to the moon. So as long as he can keep this momentum going, he's gonna be fine. And we just said Rhea is ready beyond WWE already.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I would have to say Gunther versus Priest is probably my match of the night. Because I appreciate like the back and forth they had with the chops, the power moves, the betrayal, the fact that Priest is a never say die type of wrestler. He didn't get pinned. He didn't tap out. Gunther had to choke him out.
Yeah.
Like he didn't give up. So, like I said, I feel like that has helped put the rocket on his back. I think they're all gonna be fine with the exception of the people I just talked about. So
yeah. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Honestly, the match, Priest and Gunther match, made me realize I need to stop calling him Puerto Rican Test now. So
he's
I'm gonna stop calling him that, and I'm gonna call him Damian Priest.
Yeah.
But Priest did a good job. The storyline is telling. I like the whole storyline with him and Finn, because him and Finn been going at it for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And he has cost, and was it last year when he cost Finn the match with Self?
Yep.
So you add that to it. So he's been stewing over this for a year. And everything else has been adding on to it. So, hey, it happens. I don't think the Judgment Day is going to last too long as a whole thing. You said what?
I'm sorry, I just said they're gonna implode on themselves.
Yeah, they're gonna implode on them. Yeah, it's pretty much donezo with that. So
Like
I have no more to think on that.
I get it. Like Finn Balor would always say the Judgment Day doesn't have a leader. So with getting those two out, those two being Damian Priest and Rhea, do you even think back to when Edge got put out as well? Like it makes sense to where now Finn is, even though they don't have a leader, Finn is considered the leader now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I
Yeah.
get it, but I just don't see with the way WWE is going right now. I don't see how that group of people being with Carlito and JD around, like they gotta go. Like you gotta make it just Liv, Dom, and Finn. Maybe bring in somebody weird like a Karrion Kross or something like that. I don't know, just spitballing. But the Judgment Day as a group needs to tweak it now that the star power is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, but as far as where they go from here, I do believe that match. You know, they're probably going to do like a traditional Survivor Series. I don't know, but with them or at Bad Blood, they're going to break this down like that. It's going to have a great match between the four of them: Dom, Priest, Liv, and Rhea. Going to tear the house down. So I love it. I'm agreeing with you all. This helped out. Priest losing helped him more than him winning that match. And not to skip ahead, like you said, Andrew, not to skip ahead too much. I think they did a good job of that all night, protecting people who lost or protecting people who were in matches, and not making them look weak even though they took L. So that was a good job. Let's move on to my match of the night, the feud of the year, the returning megastar that is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with the shut up, Nick, with the special guest referee, Seth Rollins. Andrew, start with you. How did you feel about this match? How did you feel about this match? I should say.
I'll be for real. I enjoyed the match. I love that Seth didn't really. He took it seriously, but not too much. I appreciate that he did his own thing as a ref. I appreciate that he had fun with it. I like the outfit and all. I love a fashionista. I will say that this was my I don't know who wins, but I think CM Punk gets injured. I'm gonna be nice tonight for his sake. For his sake, thankfully CM Punk did not get injured as far as we know. So blessings to him for that. My thing was I didn't know because I felt like it could go either way because this was CM Punk's first singles match since he's been back.
Yep.
And Drew McIntyre, I felt like he needed the win, so I didn't know it could go either way. However, in this match, even though Drew McIntyre won, because of Seth's playfulness in the match, they were still able to protect CM Punk. So it's not like he just got beat down. And like this is something that clearly is going to continue to go on. I'm pretty sure we could all agree to an extent, I feel like we wouldn't mind watching these 2 or 3, however you want to look at it. We wouldn't mind watching this group fight forever. But at the same time, like this was done in a way that it's not going to get boring, at least not within the next couple months. And then, like I said, like they protected CM Punk. But at the same time, like with the way they protected him, I'm not quite sure what story they're trying to tell. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll let it play out. But overall, I did enjoy the match.
Match of the night. Anyway, James, what do you think? What do you say?
I didn't say anything, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, Drew been hating for years, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. So, like I said, keep it going. I'm gonna say at least till WrestleMania of next year. Then after that, like drop it.
That's a long damn
ass
time. I don't know about WrestleMania.
Look, Drew will make it happen.
Yeah.
Drew will make it drunk. If them two, Punk and Drew, keep the energy they got now, the chemistry they got going, they can make it to WrestleMania.
Let me mute you right now for that.
That's crazy.
Nick, what do you think about? How'd you feel about the match, Nick?
Fun match. Self, good job with the wardrobe, perfect. But the thing I like about this match was the storytelling. Because remember, if you go back a couple of weeks, CM Punk was always telling Drew that you always lose because you let your emotions get in the way. And what happened? CM Punk's emotions got in the way, and he ends up taking that L.
Yep.
I love a good storytelling. Good
Yep.
job.
Good cinema. Again, that was my theme of the night when I watched this. Was like they are not doing stupid booking. They're actually having people take L's, but they're protecting people while taking those L's, and that's dope to me.
Before
Kind
we
of a sidebar. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say before we move on back to the storytelling, because like I didn't put two and two together till just now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In the match, despite the fact that I'm not a CM Punk fan, I can admit he's really good on the mic. He's good with words. He told Seth Rollins, "It's not always about me, but it's never about you." And then look what happens Monday night. Seth made it about him that night.
Yep.
So
Yep.
once again, I too appreciate the storytelling, because when he said that, I was like, damn, that kind of hurt my feelings. I appreciate a good story as well.
Dope. Speaking of Monday night, Seth had a rough Monday night, didn't he? Like,
Damn.
shout out to
Bronson
Bronson
Reed.
Reed, man.
Bronson
Sheesh.
Reed. Sheesh. Yeah.
Golly.
Damn.
Ugh.
Bronson, what did he do to you?
Whew.
But hey, that's what you
that
gotta do.
instantly
You gotta do
made
what you gotta do,
Bronson
though.
a factor. That instantly made Bronson a factor, and I like that.
I like it, though, yeah.
Like right then and there. Like now he's a part of the. Yeah, that was dope. That was a lot, but good. God Almighty. All right, main event time. The match was whatever. But Cody versus Solo. Couple of things here. Is Jacob Fatu really hurt? And what do you think about the Roman Reigns thing? Start with you, Ed.
You said with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Jacob Fatu really hurt? I think it might be a minor injury, because he did land kind of awkwardly. If anything, I'm hoping it's minor. I think it might be minor. I don't know if we'll see him, because he was pictured out afterwards with a walking boot. But then again, like y'all know, like he comes from a long wrestling family. Like I said, I don't know too much about his previous work, so I don't know if he's one of those guys who takes kayfabe super seriously. So we don't know. I'm thinking this. I think it is a minor injury. How do I feel about Roman being back? I think it's great. I am hoping that whatever they do makes sense. I'm hoping that when they form the, what are we going to call it? The OG bloodline? Because he already has the OTC, the over the counter original tribal chief shirt. We already got that going. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, who's going to be in his corner? Because he really don't have no allies when you think about it. Because he done beat up on Jey Uso for so long. Jimmy ain't been seen in who knows how long. He was already abusing him beforehand. Yeah. Like I said, he don't really have no allies. Like there's some respect between him and Cody, but I don't think Cody's gonna go out his way to help him, at least not right now. Like I said, I'm just hoping everything makes sense. This is something that I just want to sit back and enjoy. I'm gonna let it play out. I don't want to book it. I don't want to fantasy book too much in my head. I just want to see what's gonna happen.
Shout out to them for still making bloodline storylines matter 5 years later. This is great.
Yeah.
But all right, Nick, what do you think? Jacob Fatu really hurt, and what do you think about Roman coming back?
Looking at the tape, it looked like he hit his shin.
Yeah.
From different angles, like he hit either his knee or his shin. So I don't really know. But from seeing the walking boot, yeah, it was his shin, foot area. I don't really know. Nobody knows except for him and his people what the severity of the injury is. So I hope he's not severely hurt. I hope it's just a minor injury and everything is cool. So I'm going to wait on that. As for Roman coming back, well, this is wrestling. This big money business coming back. So this works with the over-the-counter. Oh, girl. Andrea, you're a genius, girl. You're a genius. The OTC shirts probably selling out hey, it's big business time. So
Yeah.
now I got to build that storyline up and see who's going to join them. You know, let's see how they do it.
Yeah. What you got, James?
Is he hurt? Well, like I said, probably so. But like I said, it's something minor. I'm gonna say it's minor because, like I said, looking at the video, he hit his shin, probably just a bruised shin or something. That's what I'm gonna say. Now, as far as Roman returning, it was alright. It was cool.
So
I just have like my feelings about the whole Bloodline Rules match thing.
okay.
What are they?
Okay. So the first, I don't know if y'all remember the first Bloodline Rules match with Jay and Roman, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They kept saying like anything goes. So they using chairs, kendo sticks, tables, and all that.
Mhm.
Then we get to WrestleMania Bloodline Rules match that The Rock hyped up so much, anything goes. Wasn't nothing but just a bunch of interferences. And then this past Saturday, same thing. Not one weapon was used in the last two Bloodline Rules match, and that's just my thing. And they just kept saying anything goes, anything goes. And it just seems like it's a build up now for just people to return. And plus, it came out of nowhere. It was just so random. Cody's show up Friday, when the Bloodline Rules match, you got it. It was just random. That's just
Okay.
my outlook on it.
I
I
got
can
you.
agree. Because
Mm.
Bloodline, even in their regular matches, there's always interference. So I don't really think making that distinction means anything. When you put it that way, because honestly, going into the WrestleMania match with The Rock, with the way he was beating Cody with that belt on SmackDown, I'm thinking that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania. I mean, we
Right.
got a little bit of it, but beyond that, it wasn't really a whole lot. So, no,
Right. Like pretty much they did everything night one. Like they fighting in the crowd, the table spot. They did everything night one. Night two, went no weapon like belt used or nothing like that. Just people running out, interfering in the match.
yeah, you're not wrong. I can agree with you. What you saying makes
Okay.
I'll
sense.
let you slide on this.
What you got, Nick? All right. Well, my turn. My
It's
turn.
you. It's on
Yeah.
you.
All right. So I was watching this, and this was the match that triggered my thought of, oh, they're protecting people all night. So I don't think Jacob Fatu was hurt. I think him hitting his leg or him selling that injury, how he was hurt, was a way to keep him away from Roman because they don't want them to touch yet. They don't want Jacob and Roman to touch yet. So, and to make it to where, and also to keep Jacob looking like the destructive animal that he is, to where he doesn't get a spear in a Superman punch and get wiped out just like everyone else. Keep him looking menacing. So I don't think Jacob was hurt. I just think that was a way to keep him away from Roman while he wrecked shop on Solo. The weirdest thing about this though is if I'm Cody Rhodes, man, I completed this story and we talked about it here, but I'm still not the I know he's popular. He moves a lot of merch. He moves the needle, but he feels like secondary since Mania. Even during Mania, it was the final boss and Roman were the big thing. Cody has been pushed to the background a lot in this championship reign. It feels almost like, I don't know if y'all remember this, but when Punk had the title the last time when he was in WWE before he left, and Rock had come back, and we all knew it was so Rock could get the belt and then lose it to Cena. You know what I mean? In a WrestleMania rematch, they were just waiting to get there, and Punk was just a placeholder with the title. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what Cody has to do to step out of this shadow, but he feels secondary to me, and that may just be me. But going into SummerSlam, I was more concerned about Punk and Drew. Coming out of SummerSlam, I was more concerned about Roman, Bloodline OG, and Bloodline Wolfpack. Cody is secondary, and he's the Universal Heavyweight Champion. That's just my thought. You
I
gotta agree with
have
me or disagree.
I have
Go
three
ahead.
things. I have three questions. The first
Okay.
question is, how long do you think they're going to keep Jacob and Roman apart? The second question is, Because we saw how Jacob no-sold that DDT from Randy Orton. Do you think he'll no-sell a move from Roman Reigns? Or you think he'll no-sell a Superman punch? Because he seemed hard. I was just gonna say he seemed hard-headed enough to do it. And then this third question about Cody. I think you mentioned this a little while ago. I think it was an episode where you said, like, do we think Cody should have finished the story? And
Yeah.
my thought process is now, I didn't want it to seem this way when we first got the whole, The Rock is back, is going to be him versus Roman, and we had all that hoopla. I didn't think it would end up this way, but this honestly feels like a here damn title reign, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I never would have thought Cody Rhodes would be, like, it feels like a transitional title reign right now. Like, there aren't any feuds for us to get invested in besides this potential bloodline one. And then, even then, he's not the star of that. I just, I don't know. I feel like this could have been booked better.
I agree.
Go ahead.
I agree, because like I said, I was really thinking about this the other day. I'm like, he won the title from Roman. The whole bloodline thing should have been over with. But now he's still fighting this new bloodline. And like I said, Damian Priest, when he was champion, every pay-per-view he was defending his title. Then got Cody at Money in the Bank in a 6-man tag match. Like, he could have been defending his title then against somebody. But here they are. He's still with this bloodline stuff. Like, when does it end?
Like, Damian Priest, like I said, when he first won that heavyweight title, we was worried about it. But when you think about it, he was a more important. He was more interesting to watch than Cody. When you think about it,
all right,
that's crazy. I mean, it's great for Damian Priest, but like for Cody, it's just like. And then you got the big one. You got the belt with all the history behind it.
So to answer your question, how long do I think they keep Jacob and Roman apart? I don't think they actually mix it up until War Games.
Okay.
Like, I believe, what is it? The next PLE is in September. Is that, yeah? And then they have October in Atlanta. I might have to go to that, by the way. But they have Bad Blood in Atlanta, and then the Survivor Series. I think Bad Blood is Solo versus Roman, and everybody, interference happens, and then we get War Games and Survivor Series. Their second question was, what was the second question again? Make sure I answer this right.
Yeah, we answered that one already. I said, do you think Jacob would no sell for Roman? Yeah,
I think he will. I think it's gonna be. He's definitely got that Umaga in him. You know what I'm saying? Like he got that Umaga in him, and he's a freak of nature, and it's just he's fun to watch, and he's gonna be bouncing around that cage everywhere, and putting on a show, and can't wait to see it happen. So yeah, man, I shout out to Solo. He held it down. He's gonna continue to hold it down for Bloodline Wolfpack. But I just think this story, I know we talked about Cody and being a second thought, but this Bloodline story with just Roman going heel, Roman turning face right now, that just gave this story another year if they do it right. We just bought time to extend this story out to at least next year's SummerSlam, because then you have the whole, you sprinkle the Rock. You got to remember, Rock got to come back sooner or later. Rock has to come back. So you sprinkle that in, then you got Roman versus Rock at SummerSlam or WrestleMania 26, and you're feeding families for years to come off of that. James, you're shaking your head. You don't like the Rock? You like the Final Boss?
Not like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
It's just I don't. It's like he's just, of course, he's on the board, so it's just like he inserts himself into like big main event things as a part timer. You already know how I feel about part timers like that. And it's like he's just going to insert himself here or there. He ain't just going to regularly show up or anything like that. Just, hey, it's another. Here's the spotlight. Shit, let's make it about me. And here he comes, and that's just all it is there.
Rocky can't be. This isn't. Who am I trying to say? This isn't Duke the Dumpster Drosy coming back. This is The Rock. Like, this is the biggest star in the world. What? Like, no, if he comes into the ring, he becomes the biggest attraction, and he can't help it. Like,
right, but you already know what he's going to do. He's going to get in the ring, get on the mic, say the same phrases from when 95 or whatever. Like it's too predictable for me,
If it
and I'm
ain't
trying to
broke,
be like,
don't fix it.
nah,
You gotta admit though, the final boss
that was terrible.
spin. Oh my god! Wait, what?
How's he the final boss? Bro? He
Ew.
wasn't even the champ. How's he the final boss? How are you the final boss? You're not the champ.
Because he's on the board. You just said why. He's on the board. He can do what he wants.
So you name yourself the final boss?
Oh Lord, he done glitched out on my end.
Yeah, that statement needs
No,
to be
I
glitched
just
out.
muted him. I told you what I was
You
gonna
did
do.
it? That shit need to be glitched.
So James, are you ready to come back? Nod your head.
That's crazy.
I can't believe that. So wait, hold on. I know we got other stuff to talk about. So the whole character arc of the final boss, you did not enjoy that.
Nah, not really, not too much. Like I wasn't excited about it as everybody else was. Put it that way.
Me personally, now we talked about this on a previous show on how that actually backed them into a corner because they did, because there are people who were pushed to the background because of it. So I agree with you there. But the fact of him doing things on social media, him being the Rock, Rock taking promos and cutting them on his Instagram page, making this a full surface like this was huge business for them. Like, man, all right. I've never heard, you're the only person that ever said that. Caught me off guard, man. Let's move on. Oh shit. Let's talk about Triple H. Nick, what we doing with Triple H, man?
So apparently in the internet world of wrestling, a lot of people are talking and talking and talking. And the one thing that everybody comes back to is the booking that Triple H has been doing for the last year. So a lot of people have been on the questioning his booking skills, what's going on, what is he doing, what decisions he's making. And I wanted to bring it to the forefront. So I'm going to ask you guys, so far, what do you think about Triple H's booking? Starting off with you, regrettably, James.
That's crazy. As far as booking, I would say too much bloodline stuff is going on. You can't tell me it's not, but it seems like don't do it. But
Go ahead.
it's that
No, don't mute them. Let them keep going. No, don't mute them.
as far as other talent, let's see. Booking. And when did he take over? Like it said about a year.
It's been well over a year.
Well over a year. It's had ups and downs. I'm just gonna leave it at that because it's a lot, but it had ups and downs. So,
all right.
Andrea, what you think?
I appreciate the long-term storytelling and all the comebacks. Not comebacks, callbacks. I appreciate all of that. However, and this goes back to something Jeff just said during the last topic, I think that because he's planning stuff months and some stuff even years in advance, because he's already said the WrestleMania, he said last year, or not last year, but last WrestleMania, that next WrestleMania is already planned. So I think having those plans far out in advance, I feel like it's a double-edged sword. I feel like it's a great thing to do because like you have a solid plan. However, if somebody, and I feel like this is what happened with LA Knight a little bit. I feel like if you have somebody who is able to get over on their own without your long-term storytelling, I feel like he's having an issue with pivoting because we didn't talk about it at all during our SummerSlam review, but LA Knight winning the US title is long overdue. It was more so like people were happy. I'm speaking for myself. I was happy to see him win, but it felt like a damn finally type of win, you know? Like this feels like it's a year, not too late, but it feels like it's a year overdue. And like that LA Knight is one example of that. And then yeah, I feel like there's too much focus on the long-term storytelling. I feel like he has issues pivoting when he needs to pivot. And I think because of the way the main event card is set up, and it's kind of, I don't think there's I think there's a lot of focus on the bloodline where there could be focus elsewhere. And it's not just the bloodline. Like, I feel like Judgment Day might end up approaching that same territory as well. But you got a strong mid card. You have a strong undercard as well. Like, you can't keep relying on the same two factions to carry the same two factions and the same maybe 3 or 4 feuds to carry your show. Like, they are doing it and they're doing it well, but like, there's other people there. Like, we don't need to see every single member of the Judgment Day every single week. Like Carlito and JD, we talked about this already. Like, I don't need to see them every single Monday. Like, the time we spend giving them airtime, we could be giving that to somebody else. Like, Bronson Reed shouldn't have had to do the whole 5 tsunami thing just to get over. Like, we should have been spending time with him, you know? And then too, because I have thoughts about NXT TNA or NXT TNA, however you want to call it, but that's not really Triple H. I think that's more Shawn Michaels. But with this new TNA partnership that they're doing, I do think that I have one problem and one thing that I feel like they could learn from them. The thing I feel like they could learn, I'm sorry for being long-winded, but I
Take your
just
time.
got a
I
lot
like
going
it.
on.
Take your
When
time.
you say they and them, who do you mean?
WWE
NXT
TNA.
can learn from TNA.
Yes.
WWE can learn from TNA. Okay.
Yeah, so WWE and NXT, they can both learn, because at the show I went to, even if you didn't know who a wrestler was, like when their Titantron showed up, when their music hit, it made sense with their character. So they need to get back to that. They need to call Jim Johnston, get him on the phone, and fix it. Like, nearly everybody I saw, like, their music made sense to their character. Their Titantron made sense to their character. Like, get back to that, because that's part of character building, which Triple H, he's doing a good job at with creative, but there's more to it than just the what's on the there's more to it than what's in the script. And then one thing I have the issue with is, and I spoke about this in the group chat, I understand that this match happened on an NXT pay-per-view, so they're not going to make their NXT Women's Champion look weak. I'm talking about Jordynne Grace versus Roxanne Perez. Like, I get why Roxanne Perez won, but after watching Jordynne Grace back-to-back for 2 nights, she absolutely has she deserves that juggernaut name that they gave her. Like, she had...
Yep.
the artist formerly known as Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegant, she folded this girl up like a pretzel and tossed her through a table.
Shit.
Oh, spoiler alert, my bad.
That's all right. It's all right.
Spoiler alert, my bad. But I'm like, this woman is a badass. Like, this, like, looking back on it, hindsight is 2020, but the way some of these matches are booked, it's either predictable, it's either overly predictable, or it's unbelievable, and not in a good way. And that's what I was getting to when I was talking about long-term storytelling earlier. Because it's so far out in advance, like, we're able to, like, all these pay-per-views over the last couple months have been predictable. I'll say the only one that kind of took me by, the only storyline that kind of took me by surprise at SummerSlam was Drew versus CM Punk, and that's because I already spoke about that. It could go either way. But everything else, like, we all predicted this stuff. It's too predictable. And even though I did not like Vince McMahon's style of booking shit, at least he kept us on our toes. We know what the hell to expect. It's not always a good thing, but hey.
There you go.
Jeff?
Let's see. I'll say this. Trips is in a tough spot. So, and I say that because he stepped in to lead the creative of a company that has only been led by one man the entire time, right? So even if other people were writing or coming up with ideas, they had to go through Vince before anything got greenlit. So now with Triple H, I think if we remember how NXT was during his heyday, during his NXT run, he's doing WWE the same way. So yeah, it is going to be a little more long term. top heavy. But I'm gonna give him some credit though. The crowd shots, like the coming through the crowd with Jey Uso, the arriving with your luggage shots, like the walking into the arena shots, like the NFL and NBA does, gives it a big fight feel. I like that. The that whole Wyatt Six, the promos they were doing and how they were intertwining Bray and doing that was great. Like, so he's taken some chances with doing non-traditional presentation, right? With new camera angles, the ref cam. I mean, people have tried that before, but even just stuff like that is dope to me. Now, not to kind of circle back, but we talked about, it's got a little lighter with the at the on the shows when it comes to certain things. We're gonna give him some grace on that here. We talked about that in pre-production. We're gonna give some grace on that. We're not gonna go full MVP just yet, but we're definitely paying attention that at a time when wrestling is for lack of a better word, is the blackest it's ever been. This is the blackest we've ever seen wrestling in our lifetime. Nick, you and I grew up on Coco Beware, Junkyard Dog coming through Memphis and Nashville, and people of that ilk. No disrespect to them, they are legends in their own right? But they weren't cool. I mean, Junkyard Dog was cool, but Coco had the bird. You know what I'm saying? That was about it. Then we had Ron Simmons, we had Doom, but now we really have wrestlers that are everywhere, right? And all parts of the spectrum. So our end, but for WWE's top brand to look the way it looks right now, just know we are paying attention. That's it.
You were this close to getting muted with dissing Coco Beware.
I'm not dissing Coco. I'm just saying the
Don't you
bird was the
disrespect the
bird,
Memphis
bro.
legend, Coco Beware.
I didn't want to say Virgil because Virgil ain't with us no more. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, R.I.P. to him.
R.I.P. Virgil. But Virgil, that was all we had. And Slick was a pimp with a Jerry curl. You know what I'm saying? That's all we had.
Yeah, it was. Okay, on my end of it, shout out to him. But on my end of the spectrum, if you go to sports, the NFL has a QB rating, right? The QB rating is what? The average one is what? 66.7. If I were to give Triple H a percentage of QB rating, it'd be like 50. He does some good things. He does a whole lot of horrible things. He's right in the middle. I feel like there's certain things he can improve on, and certain things that he can take a just calm down approach. Like, nah, I'm good on that. There's a lot of talent in the WWE. Maybe he's using a little more of it in certain spots, I feel. But what I feel overall, I think he's doing a good job. It's just right down the middle for me. It's not too high, not too low. It's certain things I look at him like, bro, why did you make this decision? And certain things like, oh, great decision. It's 50-50 for me. That's how I feel about it. That's it.
All right, just to give a little bit of a pushback, right? Could you say the Alpha Academy, Chad Gables of the world, the LA Knights?
He dropped the ball with that one.
Well, okay, that's cool.
I'm gonna say that.
How?
Because
how did he drop the ball on that?
He dropped the ball with that one because as soon as the turn happened, we never had nothing after it until like a month after.
Okay.
Soon as Otis turned on him, we shouldn't have had something right back after that. But we didn't. We had the Watt 6 come in.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
So it took some steam off of it. I feel like he dropped the ball with that one.
Okay. I guess my point is, even with the Y6 and then the Gable and then the Otis turning, and then you have multiple women storylines going at the same time, like, I give him that much that he is taking chances, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's something that we didn't see with the previous regime, if we're being honest. Like,
right.
It was top, and then you had one women's feud that made sense. And that was it. At least now, both titles have a relevant title scene, have relevant storyline. When I say both titles, both women's titles, even your tag team titles have a little bit of luster on them. Haven't lost as much luster as they did when Vince had them. You know what I mean? Like, I think I want to give Trips grace because he's in a tough spot because he's stepping in, and then he's also wanting to do things not completely different, but he is putting his own spin on them. And that can be difficult at times when you're stepping into something that's been ran a certain way for 40 years, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, I agree with
Okay.
that. I agree with that.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, James.
All right. So, like you said, I already said my little piece about it, but like you said, it's getting a little lighter around the titles and whatnot, right?
Yep.
And a certain superstar has made claims. And it just got me thinking, like, what are we doing with Carmelo Hayes? What are we doing with Melo? Because ever since he came up on the roster, he's been taking L after L after L, and he only won against one match in L to qualify for Money in the Bank. But on the back end, we got Brian Breaker, who lost clean at Money in the Bank, and he gets another shot at SummerSlam, and he wins. So with that Triple H booking, I mean, the claims are kind of there. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, Melo. The
Mm,
Melo thing is weird. The Melo thing is weird. I'm gonna leave it at that for right now. The Melo thing is weird. The Jay
it
Cargill
is.
thing is the Jay Cargill and Bianca thing. A little weird.
It's triple weird.
I'm surprised they won at SummerSlam. As big as they was hyping Jade up and, the matches, surprised he won at SummerSlam.
There's nothing for her to do, because what he has done is I do appreciate this. He's taken a lot of fluff away from PLE, right? Like, so there is a lot that keeping it between 5 and 7 matches per show does make you like, it makes it where you don't want to miss it. But it is weird if you take those tag team titles off of them, and they've been pretty stagnant after that. They being Jade and Bianca, two of your more imposing looking women, and just their story writes itself. And I'm not sure why he's not pulling the trigger on that just yet.
Where's Naomi?
And to be honest, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just said, where's Naomi?
Exactly. I was just about to say.
It's like they brought her back for nothing.
That whole era of women's wrestling right now, even with Becky Lynch and Bayley, even though Bayley was just a champion, her losing that belt really didn't feel like a big deal, because it's like, yeah, it's just Bayley. I feel like that whole 4 horsewomen era plus Naomi is getting pushed to the side right now. And that's weird to me.
Yeah.
Because those young ladies they're still young, and they still have a lot left to give the business. I understand we don't need Charlotte versus Becky versus Bayley versus Sasha. I mean, Sasha's in another company. We don't need that every week, but you can still make them prominent with your Asukas, with your Biancas, with your, that whole, I don't know. Strange. I'll just say that. Strange. Anywho, before we get out of here, you guys have anything else to say to the people?
I don't have anything. Well, let me not put it that way. I have something nice to say about somebody, or like a fun fact, I guess. But Mark Henry, I don't know. I just thought this was. I didn't really realize until I saw a clip of him with, I believe that was Chris Van Vliet. He discovered Jade Cargill, but also he discovered. Well, I don't know if he discovered her per se, but he's the one who convinced Bianca Belair to try out as well. So he's got a good eye for talent, and I think maybe if I don't know what his current status is. I'm not sure which company he's with. I know his son just signed with WWE, I believe, but I think people in the background, people in creative, people in talent, I think they kind of sleep on his eye a little bit. So just a shout out to Mark Henry, because he's done some good work. He's blessed us twice with 2 very phenomenal women's wrestlers. So yeah, think we should trust Mark Henry.
Exactly. Even if he doesn't find anybody else, those two, that shit, Jim Ross still brings up the fact that he brought in Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Batista in the same class. Like, the fact that you can say Bianca and Jay was who you found, that's not nothing to sneeze at, bro. That's not nothing to sneeze at all. Nick, what you got for the people?
I ain't got nothing, honestly. No, wait, I do have something.
Uh-oh.
When we talk about, Mark Henry's son, shout out to him for getting his contract with WWE. He was pretty much like his dad. Like, he's weightlifting, everything. So I saw that. I was like, okay, that's cool. So Andrew bringing that up, that's dope. Shout out to his son. That's all I got to say.
Hopefully he doesn't get an old lady pregnant and she has a hand. Hopefully
Ooh.
Jason, it was a pleasure having you. What you got to say to the people before we get out of here?
I got two things, but the first one, Andrea mentioned themes. It's not going to be crazy for a trip. Andrea mentioned bringing back Jim Johnson and themes, and I was wondering, what did they do to Bailey's theme? It's terrible now.
You're right.
You're right.
And the second one is, I want to grow up and be a wrestler at one point, as we all watch wrestling. And I always said, if I want to be a wrestler, my style would be a high flyer. What would your style be?
I'll let y'all go. What you got, Nick?
You give me technical.
Okay. So you Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrea?
I want to throw people.
Okay. Rock.
So a powerhouse?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Andrea Lesnar.
Yes.
Yeah. Suplex City. That's what's up. Damn, that's a good question. If I were to be a wrestler, I'd be a chicken shit heel. Like I'd be the heel that like lure, like drop down, like no, don't do it, and then throw me in your eye guy. I'm definitely that guy. Old school wrestler. I'm doing all the old, raking the eyes, thump, doing stuff behind the referee back. I'm that guy. I'm definitely that guy. Oh man. All right. So before we get out of here, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for making it to the end of the show. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for driving those views up, driving those listens up. It's much appreciated. Since it was the Little Wrestling Podcast that could, and we're growing each and every show. Like I said, we appreciate that. Tell a friend, as we say. But we're gonna get out of here. Let's bring back the old school one, Neek. What you gotta say to people before we get out of here, Neek?
The old school one?
The old school one.
The old school? Okay, hold on. Buck Hulk Hogan and everybody that loves him.
And we are out.
Bye.